Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Tayo Salam.
And I'm Cecilia Omogbe. And we're starting with the drama this morning. There were 2 elections in Nigeria yesterday. I'm talking about the Nigeria Basketball Federation elections. We were waiting for it and finally it happened. But what happened at the end of the day? In Benin City, we had 1 president. And of course, in Abuja, another president. And ironically, the Ministry of Sports, they were not present in any of the elections.
Safe to say we've got a crisis on our hands in the Nigerian basketball family. Also on the program, transfer deadline day was yesterday, and we've got a comprehensive review of all of the deals that went down to the wire. Premi Aubameyang, Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen, and so many other players making late moves on transfer deadline day.
Interesting. Aubameyang leaving for Barcelona. All right, also on the program, Steph Curry, what can you say about this man? All right, 40 points on the night, 21 of which came in the final quarter, and that's how the Golden State Warriors were able to scorch the Rockets. And Steph Curry was responsible for that.
Steph Curry too hot to handle. Of course, we've got details on that game between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets later on the show during our NBA segment. But before then, let's go to Cameroon for the AFCON Cup of Nations. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We've got Femi Adefeso is making a comeback after a long time on the sidelines. He's going to be telling us what he's been up to, what kind of injury, the nature, and all of that. Femi, good morning. It's great to have you on the show. Happy New Year, Happy New Month.
Right. You took that from me. I was going to say Happy New Year, Happy New Month. Good to be here. It wasn't fitness. It was more of vacation.
Okay.
Just trying to recharge and get ready for an awesome 2022.
Okay, interesting. 1 month gone already. All right, quickly, let's talk about the Africa Cup of Nations. Yes, you've been following the Nations Cup, and yes, we don't have games today. Games will begin tomorrow. That's the semi-finals. But then there's still something to talk about because of the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the fact that, well, Eguavoen may just, be the coach for the Super Eagles going into the game against Ghana. But immediately after the Nations Cup, he's got a team talk, what he had to say to the players after their exit. Let's take a listen to this, and of course, we get reactions from Femi.
It's very painful to exit the tournament in the round of 16, the caliber of players that we have. But my joy is that at least we're able to impact something. And the response from you guys also was amazing. I got a call from the Honorable Minister, and he's told me to just let you guys know that you shouldn't bury your head down, heads up. He's very satisfied with the performance so far. The President also called me, Amadou Pini. The General Secretary called me. Barrister Kiwumi called me, Sheodiko called me, and Fresh called me. In fact, the people that matters actually. I'm not saying there are people that doesn't matter, but these are primary actors when it comes to administration. So for them to still believe in this team, I think is a plus. But I want you to continue to believe in yourself because you have a whole lot of job to do for yourselves and the nation. The World Cup qualifier last round is very close by. The quicker we take this off our mind, the better for everybody. For the fact that we have the NFF still in support of what we are doing, then I'll say we don't have nothing to worry about. The progress we've made right from December 2019 date, I think is wonderful. So it's not easy, but please don't bury down your head. Heads up, continue to do what you know how to do best in your clubs, and then hopefully I'm still director of football in Nigerian Football Federation. And what else can I say? We will do everything possible. The platform is already there. It doesn't matter who is in charge, but the country first.
what matters is the country first. That was the team talk he had with the players after the exit from the Africa Cup of Nations. Yes, everybody literally that matters called him after the game, and they were happy with the Super Eagles performance. Femi, I'm going to ask you, were you happy with the Super Eagles performance at the Nations Cup?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was satisfied with how the team played. I was satisfied with the approach of the coach. I think for the first time, we really felt the impact of the bench. Like we had someone actually leading the team. Yeah, for a long time. No stones thrown at Coach Gennett Raw, really. I'm not trying to throw any jabs. But you could see the difference. In the outlook, the way the guys played the game, there was a sense of urgency. Like before it was like everyone was just coming to a party. But this time around there was a fight. You could see it from the players, you could see it from the bench. And the extra spice to it is the fact that it's coming from an indigenous coach, which never gets a look in. We never give them a chance, in the first place, which is what I always say. If you don't give them a chance, how do you know how good they are? And I think Eguavoen, has really stood tall with regards to that, showing that, look, there are a lot of coaches back home, that can't do the job. But my question now back to the coaches is, I think they don't need to wait for the Super Eagles job. Yeah. They need to begin to also show, with results elsewhere that they can do. Stephen Keshi did it. Yeah. And, we had no choice. He did it with Togo, he did it with Mali. Then, of course, he came to Nigeria and then he won the Nations Cup for us with local-based players. So these things are not impossible. It's not rocket science. And it makes it very exciting.
Femi, I hear everything you've said, but the Super Eagles ended up exiting the tournament in the round of 16, the very first knockout stage. That's not happened in a long time, and they lost out against the Tunisian side. Obviously, you follow them, decimated by COVID, bang average side. So there's an argument that, Eguavoen did a decent job, but when it counted the most, I just couldn't get over the line.
If we are going to take a sincere outlook, or an overview of the situation, there are a lot of questions that beg for answers. First off, how long was the preparation? How much time did Austin Eguavoen have to impact this team going into the Nations Cup? It's a 24-team Nations Cup. It's kind of new, and so it brought in different challenges and a different feel to it. I've totally enjoyed the African Cup of Nations this year. And losing to Tunisia, it's not bad. It's not Malawi. Sorry, Malawi in the house. It's not Malawi. It's not Uganda. It is Tunisia for crying out loud.
Yeah, but
they're not just
they're not the best side out there.
Okay, the game, I think it's been established, Tayo,
that they're not the best side out there, right?
Can we end the AFCON segment now? Because there's so much more.
So Femi, going forward for you, the World Cup qualifier is just in March. So from everything you've said, it looks like you are supporting Eguavoen to be in charge of that game or those games.
Yes, I am. Yeah. We don't need a quick fix. If we really want to succeed with football, it is clear that we need a long-term plan. Yeah. And that's the problem with Nigerian football. There is no long-term plan. Once a coach comes in, he fails one time, we want him out. We want to bring in someone else. It won't work that way. And we won't get the success that we need if we do it that way. Austin Eguavoen has shown potential. Let me mindfully use that word. He's shown that there is something that he can do with the Super Eagles, and these Super Eagles can actually get to that level that we are looking out for. So how about we give him that chance, to fail at this, learn from it, build on it, and then, we see where it goes from there. Then if we give him enough time and then things don't change, then we can now look at, other options.
All right. We'll leave it at that. We'll wait for the NFF to make a decision on that. I mean, there's all sorts of speculation out there.
So many stories.
Yeah,
but officially, nothing confirmed.
Nothing yet. So we keep waiting. But I wonder why we're waiting, though. That just tells you there's something going on that we're not aware of. Because if it was a straightforward matter, the NFF would have come out to say it.
Yeah, this is it.
Straight up.
Maybe the story concerning the Pesero issues and all that.
Issues to be
resolved, there's so many issues, but then that's not why we're here this morning. The reason why we're here, there's so many other sports to talk about. All right, let's talk about the MLS Cup. MLS Cup is the under-70 academies across the world that come together to come together to play a particular tournament every year in the USA. But that's what we're going next after we end the AFCON segment. All right, now, talking about the MLS Cup, that's the Major League Soccer Cup. Academies across the world usually come together to play it every year in April. This time around, Nigeria has been extended. I mean, the hand to be part of it. And at the weekend, it was Smart City that won the qualifiers. And, of course, they will be representing Nigeria at the MLS Cup, which is a great one, Tayo.
Indeed, congratulations to Smart City. It's all about football development. Perhaps going forward, we might see a couple of these players playing for the different national teams. Let's get reactions that are coming from the final.
What we put up top, he might be looking for pop bending. Oh, this might be a card.
I'm really grateful because this is an opportunity for us in our team to travel out of the country for the first time. So I really appreciate that. We have Team Smart City Football Academy that's really here. But we have been training to move forward. But all glory to God for this great opportunity.
I feel great. I'm happy. It was fantastic. Good environment, good atmosphere. You know, when you win, you are happy. We prepare our lads. You know, we are a team, so we train towards it. So the victory coming is not a fluke. It's what we work for.
Smart City gets the golden ticket to go play at the MLS Generation Adidas tournament. And hopefully we hope that next year we have more teams able to compete and then, of course, get the best teams out there year in, year out. We have our guests here who are in attendance to see who the winners are. The U.S. Consulate present. We have the NFF Vice President present. And we have so many wonderful guests present here to show that, you know, grassroots sports is important. Developing from the grassroots is important. And how can we give them exposure to play against the greats of the world, the Manchester United, the Real Madrid, and increase their own level of play. That is what we are trying to do here. And not just, you know, take our teams out, but also bring teams from outside into Nigeria. We want to see teams from the MLS, teams from Premiership, come play here on our grounds against our guys.
All right, that's reaction coming from the Smart City and also the organizers of the MLS Generation Adidas Cup. And the finals will be in April in the USA. So congratulations to Smart City for snatching the ticket ahead of Remo Stars. 5-3 it ended on penalties.
So I've got a smile on my face because just remember before we did the preview, this coach talked about it's Remo Stars. We know them and we know what to do. So it's quite funny that they've actually beat Remo Stars to the ticket. Femi, fantastic platform for a lot of those players to go to America and play. A lot of scouts will be watching them, and who knows where that might take their career.
Exactly. Good exposure for these talents. I think also we must say kudos to the team owners for also, you know, looking for these opportunities for the teams. I know Smart City always plays in the Lagos State FA Cup, owned by Anthony Adeyinka, and he's one of those very, I'll call him a smart, borrowing the word from his club. Those so smart administrators that's always, you know, they're playing friendly matches. Every other, if you check their social media, and they're always playing very active team. He's just always trying to give these boys an opportunity to go out. He hasn't really, you know, scaled them up to play at the professional level. When I say professional, it's the Premier League level. You know, but they're always playing in all those local tournaments and giving, you know, a lot of young boys an opportunity. So you look at this and you say, you just never know, like the organizer said, who will be on earth. You know, with that, just one exposure going to the US. Before you know it, maybe Real Madrid, maybe Barcelona, you just never know. And from there, it trickles down because the attention comes back, like he said. Then these teams now want to come and have some kind of presence in Nigeria, maybe friendly matches, scouting, and, you know, more opportunities for more talents to get exposed.
Spot on.
Interesting. Of course, the U.S. Consulate were also present at the MLS Generation Adidas Cup. Let's take a listen.
And it's wonderful to see these teams competing. It's so wonderful to see really that the Major League Soccer is really stretching into Africa, is really promoting diversity, is really, you know, bringing all of these teams together. Sports is a great thing, and it's a growing connection also between the United States and Nigeria. We see this with basketball, we see this with football, we see this in many, many different aspects, including the cultural sphere as well, music and film and art. All of this is really a symbol of the growing connection between the United States and Nigeria. Sports is really a wonderful aspect for youth. It teaches you so many skills: teamwork, leadership, how to be graceful not only in winning but also in losing. These are really important skills for your life. How do you attack a goal collectively? How do you work together to solve a problem? And so I think sports is a really great way for youth to spend their time. It also helps them physically, but also really the big aspect of this is the mental part of sports. And so we do promote sports at the U.S. Consulate. We have sports envoy programs. We have a lot of different programs to promote sports because we believe in the power of this message.
All right, that's the PRO from U.S. Consulate talking about the importance of this USA MLS Generation Adidas Cup. Of course, likes of Manchester United and so many other big academies across the globe will be taking part. So Smart City were just smart enough to snatch the ticket from Remo Stars. All right, we're leaving this and quickly going to what happened in Lagos yesterday. The sports minister was around in Lagos, and whenever he's around, usually he will visit the National Stadium at Surulere. It was an inspection tour again at the National Stadium, of course, trying to refurbish the National Stadium and bring it back to how it used to be. So this is what the pitch is looking like right now. So, well, it's coming up, Tayo. Femi.
It's coming alive.
It's coming alive, right?
What should really be the primary work now? Is it really the pitch or the bleachers? Because, okay, the pitch is good.
Yes,
then the fans come through. Where do they sit? How do they enjoy the game?
I think that's what they're working on them all
So
around. This is not the pitch, everything.
I can see, okay, the notice that talked about the tracks and the pitch. I didn't see the bleachers anyway. Okay. But it would be good for this stadium to come back to life, by all means. And so, by all means, when we say by all means, because Surulere is just a very strategic place.
Yeah.
You know, to have sports, the life that comes around that stadium, you know, even the history behind the National Stadium itself would draw any kind of sentiment, home and abroad, if we begin to play games there. We hope these things are not just constructed, but there's a maintenance plan as well.
Yeah,
but that's important. Even more important. You know, let's not just flood in all this money at once, and then, you know, we come back again maybe after 5 years, and we're talking about National Stadium. Look at it. You know, we need to do something.
Well, let's see the restoration.
So Femi, you've talked about the historical importance of the stadium, but even going forward, the Super Eagles still don't have a permanent home where they play their games. I mean, there's Ghana in March, and there's all talks about where they're going to play the game.
Abuja.
They're saying it's Abuja, right?
It's Abuja.
But as soon as you mention Abuja to anybody, they're like, oh no, Abuja, that's not home for Nigerian football. Like, they're not going to get the kind of support they get in Lagos normally because of you know, obvious reasons. So, I mean, going forward as well, it is important that this stadium is fixed. So the Super Eagles of
you know the interesting part to what you just said now, thinking about it, in recent times, the Super Eagles have come to Lagos.
Yes.
And there's a proof that the fans are here, they are ready to support the Super Eagles. You know, they've taken them around from Kano to Uyo to Asaba. Was it Asaba?
Asaba. It was in Asaba.
The Edo, you know, did their own thing.
There's even Kano at a point.
Yeah, so they've gone around, but there's no place has been like Lagos.
There is none.
So imagine if the National Stadium is oh man,
it's resurrected.
I can't wait. I actually cannot wait.
I mean, look at this. Look at pictures. Ugly pictures are coming.
That's why they are resurrected.
Some of these places are probably not been opened since I was like.
Let's go on a break now, guys. When we come back, we'll be getting the latest from the sports minister speaking on the renovation of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos.
Abuja started almost 7 months. We secured the private sector funding for Abuja 7 to 8 clear months before we secured the one for Lagos. That's one. Both of them were slowed down when we had the incident of the COVID-19. That's one. Two, the state of the Abuja facility was not as deplorable as that of Surulere. When you look at the lifespan of the Abuja Moshood Abiola National Stadium, about 20 plus years. This facility is over 30 years, almost necking 40. You've also had Abuja experience some 40%, 35% maintenance every year in the last 12 years. You've had Lagos here, almost zero maintenance for 17 to 18 years. So you see these differences make for the delay. The time needed, for instance, to deal with this place, the sprinklers and the rest, the underbelly of the pitch, beyond the grass, there's a technology underneath. All the sprinklers were all gone. All the pipes were rusted, stolen for the water sprinklers to work. So it took them much longer, way beyond what the eye can see. That's one. Two, we also, you look at the scope of work here. The scope of work here is much more than what we had in Abuja. This place includes the 10-lane tartan track, completely destroyed. We're starting from the substructure. You can see what's happening. After this, the asphalting will come, the level will come. Abuja, we didn't do the tartan track because it's not 100% completely destroyed. And then the scoreboard, of course, we had it in Abuja. The scoreboard here had been long here for over almost 40 years. It took them forever to dismantle it because everything that was there was analog, to refit a new one, and it was also imported. So the scope of work, the years of decay, and also the timing of the funding that came in was responsible for the differentials in time.
As the Honorable Minister of Sports, Sonny Dare, giving us updates on the renovation work going on at the National Stadium in Surulere. It's safe to say they've got their work cut out. It's a massive work, and we're going to have to be patient.
Yes.
But they need to hurry up.
It's telling us right now it may not be 1 year in a year's time or 2 years, maybe 3 years. It's going to take them a whole long time for them to finish this job. So fingers crossed, we'll wait for the ministry to finish the restoration of the National Stadium.
What is the problem
with that?
What's the problem?
There's a political twist to all of this. Remember 2023 is around the corner.
Yeah. Okay, let's leave
this. It's been a long time. Let's just have that at the back of our mind.
Yeah, all right.
That the earlier, the better.
Okay, the earlier, the better. Please, speedy up the job. Election is coming. Yeah. All right.
I mean, that's a great point.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right, let's quickly touch down on what's going on with the National League. Not the organization itself, but some clubs that will be taking part. It's going to be in March. That's the Nigerian National League. But then Sokoto United already, they're getting support from their government. It simply means when they come in, they may not be owed salaries.
Cecilia.
So why are you calling my name, Tayo?
No, I'm surprised.
I like how she kept it safe. They may not be owed. May not.
Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, we're seeing pictures are coming from Sokoto United. Cecilia, the reason I called you is because for the very first time in a long, long time, you refused to call the AKA of the Nigerian National League. You never missed to say it's the most important league in the country. But anyways, that's for another day. Maybe you've changed your mind. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm beginning to change my mind. This is March. I don't know if they will. This is February. They said March. Let's see if they will start in March.
Okay.
All right.
So
this is the bus that I've been giving to them. I'm looking at how many seater bus. Well, at least something so that I can take them around across the different centers in the country where they will be playing. And of course, after this bus was given to them, what's the mandate? Of course, get promotion to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's take a listen.
In preparation, a very serious preparation to make sure that we rebranded the team. We have put the team in a very position that we can secure the promotion to Premier League. So what we have done so far, we make the recruitment a very serious recruitment. We have gotten quality players, top quality players that can play for the team. And alhamdulillah, we observe with the concern the need for the new brand vehicle that can move our players all across the country for the successful season. And that's why now we have brought down this new vehicle so that we support them and make sure that no any stone left unturned.
We started very well. We started our campaign about, let's say, 3 months ago. and the boys have been putting their best, and His Excellency, you can see the Excellency has been so tremendous to the team. He is so dedicated to the team, and he gave all the support, fatherly support to the team. We really appreciate. All the players and the technical crew are putting all hands on deck to see how we can make this state, Sokoto State and Sokoto United, proud.
Okay. All right, that's what is going on with Sokoto United. So they're ready for the new season, see if they can get promotion to Nigeria Professional Football League.
Good luck to them.
Good luck.
All right.
All right. Okay, the business of the day. Yes, you know the business of the day. We didn't want to start with that because we just didn't want to have headache, right? Elephants in the room. Time to address it.
Yeah.
NBBF elections, yeah. Benin City and, of course, Abuja. Remember when Queen was here? She talked about the fact that, okay, the ministry have said elections should go ahead, but then it's going to be in Abuja. But then the Musa Kida, you know, the president now, okay, how do I even put it? I'm a bit confused. All right, Musa Kida, President-elect one, released, there's press release coming from their camp saying, look, the Congress was held in Benin. And according to the Congress, they said the elective Congress is going to be in Benin City. And so they won't be going to Abuja. That's why I've seen pictures from Abuja, from Benin City, where the second election was held. Well, by this election, what we learned is the fact that all the representatives, both FIBA and NOC, were on ground to witness the elections. And they also have representatives from the 36 states of the Federation. So now, Benin City election, okay, this is what you have. At the end of the election, you have Musa Kida, Babs Ongwani, Vice President, Olumide Yedeji, Southwest Representative, Ugo Udezwe. They also have Abba Kaka, Siraju Yusuf, and of course, Adamu Jalong. All of them from Benin City election. Now, we go to the Abuja election, just have it. Then you have Mike Igochi as president, Osita Uwanchuku, Mohamed Lawal, Ibrahim Gimba, Josiah Ahmedu, then Stanley Gumont players representative. You have Tokme paramilitary representative, and Scott Nanji, technical and coaches representative. For the paramilitary in the Benin City election, you have Victor Okoro representing that. Femi, so it's up for you. Or do we get reactions from the Benin City first, then we'll listen to Femi's reaction to this.
Nigeria always play in Olympic Games, men and women, always play, participate in World Cup, men and women, represent Africa and FIBA Africa in a very good manner.
I will emphasize that once again, we must continue to strive for unity of purpose amongst all our stakeholders. This must be in full respect of our Constitution, so that the onlookers will always accord us the respect that we deserve as drivers of the growth and development of basketball in Nigeria. I'm therefore using this medium to call on all basketball stakeholders in Nigeria to join hands and move Nigerian basketball to its desired height. The Nigerian basketball family has gone through a lot within this short span of time. But the outcome of the results has clearly shown the commitment of the board to the greater good of Nigerian basketball. There may be disagreements, there may have been disagreements, but I think the present results have validated the struggle.
All right, that's the elective Congress in Benin City. Musa Kida, the elected president. Femi, what do you make of this?
Phew. I really don't know if we have actually made progress.
Yeah.
If at this time we have two presidents representing the Nigeria Basketball Federation. And it beats me to say the ministry has only succeeded in wasting everybody's time. In the sense that When, the Congress sat and the dates came out initially, they talked about reconciliation, bringing people together to form one house and one family, which was supposed to be the case, which is supposed to be the solution. Because at the end of the day, these elections just only take us back to what has happened before. The last election cycle in 2017, where there was one in Cairo and then there was another one in Abuja. Now, same thing has happened now. Then you ask yourself, where exactly, is, the governing body of sports in Nigeria, in the scheme of things, if, this is what they were supposed to handle and avoid, in the very first place. So all of a sudden, there had to be compliance. We had to do an election. Some people said, you came out to say we are doing the elections in Abuja. Then, of course, the Congress that was held in Abuja said it's going to be Edo. And there was nothing from the ministry to give a directive as to the direction everybody should go. So everybody decided to take laws into their own hands, as it were. And, there was Abuja and there was Benin. And the interesting part of it is they now didn't even show up, in any of the elections.
From the
This is
Abuja
pictures
election.
from Abuja. And that's Osita, who was elected vice president in that election in Abuja. So they didn't show up. So we're asking yourself, the problem here really is the ministry. He is the minister, because he was in Lagos, unfortunately, when all of this was happening, pretending like nothing was going on, when he was supposed to be the defining factor as to getting a solution to this. I had always preached the fact that, the election is not a direct end to all of this crisis. Because now the body is divided. The stakeholders are divided. There was voter apathy, on both sides. I heard about 11 associations, state associations showed up in Abuja. About 23 showed up in Abuja, in Benin for the election. You're wondering, why are all the 36 states? Because they don't know the direction to go. Now there's politics, there's favoritism, there's partisanship, and it's causing a lot of rancor in the house. So we haven't really made headway, sadly. And I hope, in fact, nobody even knows what next is going to happen from all of this. Of course, FIBA has shown their presence, NOC has shown their presence in Benin. That sort of gives you, a leeway. But we can only sit down here and speculate, because now we don't know where the ministry stands. What if they wake up tomorrow and then they say, this is what we support? And then, before you know it, you have letters flying here and there, then court orders also flying left and right, and then you ask yourself, what happens to basketball itself? Yeah, and to the main actors as well, who are the most important, the players. Femi, I think you're spot on when you've said the ministry, the sports ministry, haven't shown enough leadership in this situation, and that's why we are where we are right now. According to the elections in Benin, 37 Kida emerged presidents with 37 votes. Yeah. I mean, you just try to paint a picture. But you and I know. I mean, if you have 11 so much confusion, exactly. So where's the 37? So much confusion that could have been avoided. It feels like deja vu because we've been here before. I don't like to say this, but what I think I'm going to say. So the last election cycle is an exact replica of what's happening now. In as much as, the then minister, Rasta Solomon Dalong, was very unpopular with his decisions and the way he went about it, he was assertive. We knew exactly the direction we're going. And at some point, somehow, some way, everybody managed to shift towards that direction at the end of the day. But when we have a current minister now who, yes, he tried to put the body together. So imagine it was on the day of the election, the reconciliatory committee release came out. Why? After weeks of which those guys sat and brought up... And according to what we have there, it was stated that the elective Congress would follow the 2019 Constitution, which was saying that... So why was that not out in the very beginning? So everybody could plan to watch that? Guys, it's a crisis situation we have on our hands now. Hopefully, we keep hoping every time that these two parties will come to a resolution for the good of the game, for the good of the players. That's what we want. I mean, there's an important
competition coming on very soon.
Qualifiers.
Not just
not even the
not even
qualifiers
one,
for the
more
women.
than
So many.
the Basketball Africa
Well, I'm
League,
even talking of the
World Cup
immediate
qualifiers for men and women. They are all staggered. Like
The
back to
qualifiers
back.
for the men and women. For the women, it's starting like in February.
Yes, we are in February.
We're in February, so it's starting this
in
month.
a couple
So,
of days.
which is imminent. Yeah.
You know, now you need to put the team together. You need to get a coach. We don't know if we're retaining the same coach.
You get
know, have to send all those
so
things
many
to happen.
issues.
The Basketball Africa
if we're
League
gonna-
issue, we don't even know what the fate
gonna happen
of
to
Rivers
Rivers.
Hoopers is at this point in time. You know, all of those things. And by the time letters start flying left and right, you know, even FIBA, despite being here, you know, would be confused. What's
Okay,
going
so
on?
let's appeal to the sports ministry right now.
Yes.
If you guys want to solve this issue, it's so easy. Put the
Very.
parties together and then have one president so we can move forward.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to.
All right.
Still talking basketball, but let's go where.
It's all settled.
Yeah. No
Right.
drama, no issues at all. They just focus on playing basketball.
Of course,
And
that's
that's
what
why
is-
it's the most important league in the world.
Absolutely.
The NBA.
The NBA, yes.
And we
All
can
right,
let's
wake
get
up at
into
3
it.
a.m. in the morning
And
just to
watch
have.
it.
Just
I
watch
show
it.
up in the
I mean,
studio
if you
at
don't feel
night.
like
Yeah.
sleeping, then just, it's as simple as
This is a
anytime you tune in,
fantastic product.
you watch it anywhere.
Let's take a look at the results of the games that were played last night and this morning. 8 games in total. God Femi is going to be helping us, you know, break down some of these games. The Pelicans lost against the Cavs. The Cavs have been the story of the season, looking good for the playoffs. The Clippers lost against the Indiana Pacers, 122-116. Philadelphia 76ers, 122 over the Grizzlies, 119. Tyrese Maxey was the star of the show in that one. They won without Joel Embiid, by the way.
Yeah.
The Celtics, playing against the top in the East, actually got the win over Miami, 122-92. We'll come to that game later on because it's one of our feature matchups. The Kings against the Knicks, it was New York winning 116-96. Atlanta Hawks, unfortunately, lost against the Toronto Raptors, 106-100. That's the end of their winning streak. The Warriors against the Houston Rockets ended 122-108 in favor of Golden State, led by Steph Curry. And last but not the least, the OKC Thunder absolutely prevailed, struck down the Portland Trail Blazers, 98-81. So those were the games that went down in the NBA. Let's focus on our first feature matchup between the Warriors and the Rockets. And it was all about that man, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, scoring 40 points, 21 coming in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Can't come more clutch than that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he was very instrumental to their run because the game was really, you know, neck to neck, and he made some 5 points that stretched the game in 4 minutes left in the game. And Golden State Warriors just pulled away, you know, from there. And like Sisi said during the intro of the show, he scored 21 of his 40 points in the fourth quarter. And he helped the Golden State Warriors to their 6th consecutive win and dealt the Rockets their 11th straight loss as well in there. There's Andrew Wiggins, who is an all-star this year. He had 23 points.
Yes.
And Klay Thompson also added 14 points in as well. So the Golden State Warriors are looking really good. But my money is not on them this year. To get it, I don't want to jinx them here, so I'll just keep it to myself for now. But these Golden State Warriors, they look very exciting. I like the fact that everyone is beginning to appreciate Andrew Wiggins for what he brings. People forget very easily that he was the number 1 overall draft pick. You know,
he struggled to live up to the hype.
His rookie year.
Must be said.
I don't think he struggled. I think because, you know, he was used for a trade by the Cavs for Kevin Love, that got him to Timberwolves. And Timberwolves, they've not really had that stellar performance. But if you look at his numbers and Andrew Wiggins' consistency, he's played like that over the years. The radar has not just been on him because, you know, he's not that guy that gets you the highlights every other night. But his play has been phenomenal. This year he's added a bit more to his game. And I think because he's also in California, playing in Golden State, it has opened up, shed more light to his game. And they see he's a very instrumental player for them and for the Golden State Warriors. I think the Golden State Warriors this year will go quite far. It's been an unusual season in the NBA this year, honestly. New names, you know. The dark horses are becoming, you know, the top dogs in the league this year. It's quite interesting.
Let's go on a break now. When we come back, the Warriors, by the way, the second in the Western Conference, 38-13 for the season, so they're looking good for the playoffs as well. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, I'll be focusing on the next matchup between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics.
pay attention to the game plan and attention to detail. They missed some guys tonight, and the other guys were pretty much shooters that we wanted to make play inside the three-point line. They got way too many open looks. We missed some switches, didn't switch up aggressively, and they came off getting too many clean looks. And so that was a message. Guard your man. We know what they're trying to do, the looks that they're trying to get. And to their credit, we bounced back and finished out the quarter well, but also carried into the second half. Physicality went up. It was too much separation, whether it was on or off ball, and we got better at that in the second quarter. We also watched those clips at halftime and improved that in the second half. So just a little lapse, a little of lack of awareness on who the shooters were, and they came off too clean. They missed some early in the game where we were like, those looks are too good for these guys, the high-level shooters, and so it burned us in that stretch there. But we got our physicality back, read it up and switched up much more physically and took them off those shots. So credit to our guys. They bounced back to finish out the half and then carried it on to the third quarter.
Mel Doka right there, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, obviously delighted with that victory over the Miami Heat. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combining for 49 points in that game. Femi, quickly, your thoughts on Celtics this season under Mel Doka?
I think it's been great, to be honest.
They're ninth in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
They're not in the playoff picture just yet.
Remember before going to the studio, I was talking about the consistency of the superstars of Boston. They're young, and I think they just can't carry that weight on their shoulder just yet. I think they will need some kind of veteran presence, to carry that pressure off them and allow them thrive. Look at the numbers they had today. From the stats, this is Jason Tatum's 6th consecutive games of scoring 20 points plus. For Brown, it's his 4th consecutive game of scoring 25 plus points. So it goes to show that these guys really have that. But I think the extra burden of being leaders is something they don't have. I think
just yet.
They will need, and they have a young coach in Ime who is also learning on the job, as well. So you need to give him some room to grow. So at that position, play in position good, get to the first round of the playoffs. Anything can happen from there. I think it will be great. Then for next season, get some new good free agents and maybe do some trades. Maybe one of Smart or Brown or Tatum in one power pack trade to get in some veteran.
They'll
be able to push for.
All right.
We're starting to hear rumors about breaking up that
at some point, they may have to give. Because,
why would you break it? I think it's really working. Top performance right now.
Yeah, top performance. Because we've all got basketball buffs in the house. We're not going to leave the show. Let's see the top performers are the guys that stood out for their teams, starting with Desmond Bain for the Grizzlies, 34-7-1. But they lost on the Knights narrowly. Let's move on quickly.
Desmond Bain actually has Nigerian heritage.
The Nigerian connection. We talk about it from time to time. Let's move on, guys, to Gary Trent Jr. for the Raptors, 31-6-1 in their victory as well, too. Congratulations. Next up is Stephen Curry, 45-9 for the Warriors.
The GOATs.
The GOATs.
Okay, so we will come for you.
I know.
I'm not here.
And what about this young man, Tyrese Maxey for the Philadelphia 76ers, is taking full advantage of the absence of
talking about
Ben
stepping up
Simmons.
when your big guy is not at home. You show up and show out.
Yes,
that's what
indeed.
Tyrese did.
33-3-8 on the night where the Philadelphia 76ers won without Joel Embiid. Let's get on with the show now. Let's quickly focus on the transfer deadline day. Some of the moves that went down overnight or late last night, actually.
Yes.
And we're going to run through them for you quickly, starting with the biggest one for me and for a lot of people, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The nightmare is over.
For free.
The nightmare is over. Arsenal has gone to Barcelona on a free transfer. Dele Alli, 7 years at Spurs, is over as well to he's heading to Everton on a free transfer. Potentially, that deal could cost £40 million, depending on if he meets certain performance clauses. Donny van de Beek, nightmare Old Trafford. Theatre of Dreams was theatre of nightmare for this guy. He's trying to resurrect his career at Everton.
I don't know why. I feel he hasn't had enough opportunities to show up.
He hasn't. That's the bottom
they haven't
line.
given him that chance.
So he's got to go to a place where he's going to play regularly. Of course, Dejan Kulusevski from Juventus to Tottenham.
On loan.
On loan as well. There is also Rodrigo Bentancur as well, to same from Juve to Tottenham Hotspur. Giovanni Lo Celso, Tottenham to Villarreal loan. Tanguy Ndombele.
Yeah.
Tottenham back to Lyon. He's
That's
had a
shocking.
bit of a disastrous time in England. And Christian Eriksen,
of course.
Yeah, sensational return to football.
Yeah.
We'll keep our fingers crossed on that.
Quick
And we
one.
also forgot to mention Frank Lampard to Everton.
Yeah, of course. We're going to come to that eventually.
Unattached, and that's where we are going to now.
That's what we're going to now.
Because it's also unattached, like Christian Eriksen. So right now, is it a good one for him? I mean, Everton is a job I know some coaches will not touch because of the coaches that have left. They've had top-class coaches back-to-back, Carlo Ancelotti and, of course, Rafael Benitez. And now you're stepping down to Frank Lampard, who his reign at Chelsea was really disastrous, so to speak.
No, I think it was just okay.
That's harsh.
Yeah, I
For
agree.
Chelsea,
I agree.
The first season,
it wasn't a total disaster.
It wasn't a total disaster.
Okay, the second season,
first season got them into the Champions League, transfer ban and all of that.
Exactly.
Second season didn't live up. Of course, Chelsea didn't waste time.
According to Chelsea, it was disastrous for them.
No, it wasn't disastrous.
Let's not also forget Frank Lampard was a Jew. He was a junior coach. Coming in at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Let me use that word.
He was a baby coach.
He was a real baptism of fire.
Okay.
Going straight to Chelsea, which is why I love the decision from Wayne Rooney decided not to take the Everton job and sticking with Derby County. I think some of these managers it's a lot of pressure, a lot of work for them, especially when the club is demanding some certain level of excellence. You are playing with those teams like Aston Villa, Gerrard was with Rangers. You know what you need. Not too much pressure of day in, day out trying to produce results, but just ensuring a consistency and a build-up. For Everton, I believe they understand what they signed up for in Frank Lampard, that he won't get them automatically to Europe or the top four or the top six.
They're in a relegation battle right now.
Yeah, so I think survival is key, at this point, and then you see where they go from there. But I like the fact that he still maintains the blue color.
Yeah,
he's still a blue. Yeah, and getting Dele Alli, who I think most English pundits say is kind of a replica of what Lampard was in his junior years. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe he can be that man to get
resurrect his career.
That superstar out of Dele Alli, which we see, but we haven't just lived to enjoy it.
Yeah. Dele Alli's fallen off a bit. As a matter of fact, more than a bit in the last couple of years. I all remember when he, hit the limelight from MK Dons to Tottenham Hotspur. Let's get the first words now coming from Frank Lampard, speaking about taking over as the new Toffees boss.
Very excited. It's a huge honour for me to represent and manage a club with the tradition, the size of Everton Football Club. I can't wait to get started. I always had a great feeling whenever I played against Everton as a player, playing at Goodison, felt the atmosphere, felt the passion of the fans, and very hungry to get started. Yes, they did. I think the most important thing that we all know that we have to focus on is the short term, to get ahead of ourselves. But yes, we know the new stadium that's coming. We know where this club wants to be and where we want to get to. But we know first and foremost probably the challenges that are in front of us right now in terms of league position. We have an FA Cup game next week, and so I want to get to work very quickly on that to deal with the short term. And of course, in the back of our minds is always the long-term vision of the club.
All right.
Frank Lampard, delighted to be back in the dugout as the manager of Everton. Good luck to Super Frank. Let's take a look at the papers before we close the show. Cecilia, let's start with
Complete Sports. All right, starting with Complete Sports. And right here, you have Igalo says, I left Al-Shabaab for stopping my AFCON 2021 dream. Okay, all right. Says club stopped his flight as to jetting out into Nigeria.
I listened to that interview. Quite interesting.
Yeah,
indeed.
He didn't like it. So I think I love what he did. All right, that's the biggest story coming from Complete Sport. The other one is ex-Nigerian under-17 star Mao joins FC Copenhagen. All right.
That's a good move for
And Ousmane Dembele to stay at Barcelona.
It's not going anywhere.
All right, and this one, Otin Odoi ready to face Eagles in March. A story out there that he wants to play for Ghana. All right, Tayo, Sporting Life. Okay,
Sporting Life. All right, let's go to Sporting Life AFCON package. There's a breakdown of how much the Super Eagles are earning for their outing in Cameroon. Take a look at Sporting Life for details of that. Serie B club Parma signed Simi on loan. So Simi is back in the Serie B from Serie club right there. Everton strike deal with Tottenham for Dele Alli. We've talked about all of these transfers already. Napoli insists Osimhen is not for sale. Transfer window, Armoby signed Amo for 2.3 billion naira.
Okay, the final one is a Sporting Sun. Sporting Sun right here says Igalo scores on Al Hilal debut. He made his debut and also score. And of course, you have the major transfer completed on the front page. And also the re-elected Musa Kida also here. Anthony Joshua raking in 180 million pounds in 2 years. All right. I want to thank you so much, Femi, for making it to the studio today.
Always a delight.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Bye for now.